Let me know when we're rolling.
All right, we're rolling.
All right, what's up, my Alice Crazy Amigos? Yo, we're here, 2019 SEMA, and we're kicking it. We're in the backyard. I don't understand how some of these cars are out here because they're really beautiful. This is my man, Ed Beers. Ed, what is going on over here? We got the owner of the ride, Joe Miele. Joe Miele, sitting up here, and we're gonna walk it through. Ed, tell him what's going on. Right, look at this paint job.
So Terry, this is a 55 Chevy Moonshine Runner. Joe Miele contacted me a couple of years back and said, you know, I want something of a tribute car to that era and his own family history. Right. And he said, you know, I'd love to incorporate everything from the stills, the copper collecting barrels, money, wanted posters, and incorporate portraits of the builders from Ravenswood Paint and Body down in Dania Beach, Florida. How do we incorporate that all into this mural? So I thought, all right, I had to think it out. I had to take a look at all the different photographs of the portraits of the people that were going to be incorporated into the piece. How was I going to get the effect that I needed, which was that this car is a getaway car. It ran through the shed. The copper still is exploding. The wood collecting barrels exploding. You got the pressure gauges. I wanted to have flames that were just like your tequila flame. Right. So because you know when you're talking moonshine at 193 proof, it's going to burn rainbow. It's going to burn rainbow.
Of course.
So imagine this car going through the shed. The flames are all because the fluid is splashed over because it exploded out of the copper still. And then as the splattering effects are happening, puddles that are on fire are going down the sides as well.
And I don't think people can appreciate from the camera. You got to think it. There is no rise in the paint. This thing is just smooth.
Yeah, it's all airbrush and fine line hand brush work. So I go in with a liner brush and I go into the detail of all the texture of the wood. I mean, every medium possible. It's all water-based, but every tool that I can use to get certain special effects. So it's a combination of airbrush and hand brush work.
Now, if you guys see from my videos, you know I'm out of the Tri-5s, I'm a 56 guy. All right, but this 55 is.
This is the badass. This is the runner. This is the car that got away.
Yeah.
And part of the things that we wanted to incorporate it is even down to details, like the $20 bill here. That's an actual serial number, 1955 issued $20 bill. And Joe Miele is, of course, the Secretary of Treasury.
Right.
And so that's one of the things that I did. And then on the other side, I'm gonna take you over this way. Right here. This time I'm the Secretary of State, but all of these types of little details, having the actual money and having it authentic to 1955. When you come down here, is all the stuff that would have been in the shed is flying by. You've got a tribute.
That's Junior Johnson.
Yes, it is. This is the Wilkes Patriot. This is the article that was actually. I looked it up online. I found the actual article, and it says Junior Johnson eludes police again. And police claim Johnson was wanted for bootlegging and smuggling. The only thing that's different about this from the original article is that I took a more contemporary shot of his vehicle, so that the 1944 was clear, because it was a blurry shot in the actual.
Yeah, but the fact is that you took a shot and you were able to recreate it.
I recreated it all by hand.
And by hand.
There's no tracing in this. Everything is hand drawn on paper by eye, and then it's hand painted by eye. I have pictures step by step on my website with it, which is airbrushbybeard.com.
Yes, it is.
But all of this, the singeing, because what would happen when these newspapers were immediately hit is they would light up real quick, and that's the effects that you get when you burn newspaper.
What it had in the paper, I forget what it's called, but it lit up pretty quick.
Now over here we have the actual portraits of some of the guys from the team down at Ravenswood, and you have the nicknames. This is Wires, this is Mixer, and this is Tin Man. Tin Man is the metal guy. Mixer is the guy that worked on the paint, and then Wires is the guy that did the wiring.
Wow.
Now, and when I take you on the other side, we'll go back to the driver's side now, and I'll show you the rest of that over here. Obviously, we're going to have jugs of moonshine, so we got triple F jugs cracked up and floating down. And the warning signs, you got to have the deadly poison moonshine liquor signs. And here we have the wanted posters of the elder members of the Ravenswood Paint and Body.
Right.
Down there, Dania Beach, and this is Pops, and of course Mom. And Mike is the head guy. He's the actual business. And so they're known as Six Shooter, Mama B, and Whole Shot. Wow. So it's for Joe, it's a personal piece from his family history, but it also accentuates the guys that built it. He really pays homage to those guys. Right. And there's one last thing I want to show you under the hood. This was a last minute add-on, and that's on the radiator. And that's basically kind of like the dock. This is Miele's secret blend. And that's 192. So it's like kind of a logo that I created for Joe's brand. So I'm going to turn this on to Joe, so he's going to tell you more about the engine and everything else that goes on.
Joe, let me ask you a question. Wow.
Possessed me to do this?
Yes. Yes. I know what possessed my man. I know it possesses Ed because that's what he does. But what possessed you to go this far? And it's basically a rolling tribute.
I started working on building on cars when I was 12 years old in 1977.
Okay.
And I always used to read popular hot rodding and all those things of the day. And I was always fascinated by the articles about Junior Johnson, the moonshiners, and all the ingenuity. You know, stealing
like early NASCAR.
Stealing engines out of Cadillac ambulances and then putting them in 40 Fords and just all sorts of technology, turbochargers, all this stuff back in the day. They were doing it.
They were doing it.
So I was always into that. And then I moved down from New Jersey to South Florida in 2000. And when I moved, I had to sell my toys. And I know, right? So I did recover.
Okay, so fine, there you go.
so I bought a Buick GS 455 and I got referred to this body shop, 70.
My man.
You got one?
No, but my uncle had one. I almost came this close when he passed, but that's another story for another day. But that's my favorite year.
So I got referred to this body shop, which is Ravenswood Paint and Body. These guys, I went over there and talked to them, and they now became my adopted South Florida family. My family was still all north, and this is a small, tight-knit Italian family. You walk in, mom's like, here, can I get you something to eat? Can I get you something to drink? And they've been in business 50 years.
God bless them.
So, so when I get in there, I just basically went in there and they never left. So I was building
like a stray cat. You feed them once.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't have junk food at my house. I go in there, I got donuts and cookies and
cannolis,
all that stuff. I was building a gasser, 63 Nova gasser that they were putting together. They were just painting it. And I said, that's it, I'm all done building cars. Don't want to do it anymore. Maybe I'll buy something half done. Unless you want to sell that 55 Chevy, because this was theirs. They had it since like the mid-70s.
Right.
And then they started restoring it in the late 90s. Took it off the frame, did the frame, and all the bodywork in black. So this thing was actually painted in around 2000.
Oh, and airbrushed recently.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was working on old paint.
Get over there.
I'm working on old paint.
So I said, you guys ever want to sell that? It's the only exception. I'm all done building cars. Yeah. And sure enough, like 3 years later, he calls me and says, you serious about looking to buy that? So I said, yeah. So I bought it, and then Mike, and it's got the ball rolling. He goes, why don't we use the best parts for the best car? So then off came the blower out of the Nova, out came the big block, and everything then went into the 55
Right.
And again, going back to the moonshine days, the transmission's an old clutch turbo. Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you take the turbo 400, whack the front off, put a scatter shield.
Right.
So that's in here. Built by my buddies at JW Transmissions in Rockledge, Florida.
Good guys over there.
And I wanted power steering, I wanted power brakes, and I wanted air conditioning. I didn't want to see anything. So if you take a look, there's two alternators here.
Yeah, both sides.
And there's an electric power steering pump in the trunk that we plugged up to the rack. There's an electric air conditioning compressor in the trunk, and that's why you can see the lines there, but there's no compressor. And then it's got an electric brake booster mounted on the frame, so it's got actually two completely separated, isolated electrical systems in the car.
This is an awesome ride.
And he didn't cut the firewall.
And he didn't. Yeah, I was looking at that. He didn't hack it up.
No, the body is 100%.
Yeah, everything here is original 55 steel except for the hood.
Yeah.
And
because you don't want to hack up a
original hood.
Yeah.
So what we did was we moved the motor 1 3/4 inches forward, and then we fabricated the core support using the factory bolt holes because I didn't even want to drill any extra holes right. I didn't have to.
Yeah.
And how about what you went through to get almost all American parts?
Oh my God, yeah. I made it a point to only buy American, and sadly, you don't know how difficult it is nowadays to find American. Some of these are ball joints. Control arms, all that stuff, shocks. So I mean, I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours figuring out what parts were American made and which warranty. The only thing on these cars are American made parts.
Do you have a name for it?
Yeah, well, your license plate.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got the license plate's Whiskey Car.
Whiskey Car?
That's it.
So it's Whiskey Car. So what's next for Whiskey Car? Do you have anything going on in the future as far as TV shows or anything like that?
Well, you take it out Good Guys, probably.
We'll take it out to Good Guys at NSRA Street Rod National.
Okay.
I mean, we just got the thing running like maybe a week and a half ago. It's about 2 hours of runtime.
But I got to tell you, we drove it in from when it was delivered by the reliable carriers and they got dropped off. We drove it about 25 minutes to half an hour. And although at idle, of course, with the supercharger, you got the boom. But once you hit 10 miles an hour, this thing is smooth as glass. I was surprised. I was like, this is like riding a caddy. It was really comfortable.
I mean, we did go through about 5 gallons of gas.
Oh, no doubt.
So to make it through ignited, I said, hey, could you go buy a gas tank? So we're gonna go put 10 gallons in it to get through ignited.
Just to get to the next park.
That was pretty fun.
Again, Edward,
thank you, Terry.
Always a pleasure, my friend. We will be talking.
Thank you,
Joe.
Hey, good seeing you. Good meeting you.
I appreciate you. I'm sorry you had to get rid of your car, but I'm glad.
I recovered.
Yeah. Terry out.